gentlemen and graduands, welcome to this Birmingham City University Award ceremony. We will be opening proceedings in the next few minutes. Can I first make some important announcements and requests to ensure that everyone can fully enjoy the occasion? Can you please turn all your mobile phones to silent or switch them off completely? We welcome the taking of photos and video, but if you are doing so, please do not stand or block the view of others in the audience. We have more than 400 students graduating today, and each one who crosses the stage is important to us. Please do clap and cheer as loudly as you wish as your graduand crosses the stage, and allow other members of the audience to do so without distraction when their graduand is crossing. The ceremony is scheduled to be approximately 2 hours long. In our experience, small children can become restless during proceedings and sometimes even a little noisy. If your child does become unsettled, can we please ask you to move quietly out of the hall in order that they do not distract other guests and graduands from their enjoyment? We have a comfortable viewing room where you can still watch the proceedings and tend to your child. Your nearest door steward will be able to direct you. Graduands, this is important for you. You have been seated carefully and in a particular order to ensure that every person crosses the stage in the right sequence. Please do stay in your assigned seat, and when you are asked to come out of your row and move around to the corridor ready to be presented on stage, please do not move out of this order. Our graduation ceremonies are formal occasions and do follow a traditional format. They will begin with a fanfare, following which the academic procession and the Pro-Chancellor's procession will enter the hall. At the end of the ceremony, once the Pro-Chancellor closes proceedings, could I please ask graduates to stand once again and for guests to remain in your seats until the procession has exited the hall, after which you will be able to leave and join your party to celebrate your graduands' achievements. Now we are about to begin. Can I ask everyone to please stand as the processions enter the hall? Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Make yourselves comfortable on this warm afternoon. I have great pleasure in declaring this congregation open. I preside over this ceremony as Pro-Chancellor of the University, and I'm delighted to have this opportunity to participate in such a wonderful celebration of our students' achievements. Without further ado, I call on the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Philip Plowden, to give the opening address.
Pro-Chancellor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, our graduands. As Vice-Chancellor of Birmingham City University, I am delighted to welcome you all to this awards ceremony this afternoon. You are all very welcome to join us, but I wanted to start with the most important group of people in the hall today, and that is the graduating class of 2018. Today is your day. This is about your success. It's about what you have achieved. And I think we should start by congratulating you. There are two other groups to whom I wish to pay tribute. And the first of those is a group without whom none of what you as our graduands have achieved would have been possible. And that is our staff across the university, obviously particularly those who have taught you and have worked with you in classrooms, on wards, in clinics and in laboratories. But also all of those across the university who keep us running on a day-to-day basis and ensure that we give you a first-class experience. So graduates, can I invite you to give a huge round of applause for the university staff? And finally, just one other group of people who we have to recognise today and who are, in many cases, all around us in this wonderful hall. The people without whom you would not have succeeded on your journey today. The people who've been there to support you, to encourage you, to believe in you, particularly at the times when you may not have quite believed in yourselves. That's your families, your supporters, your friends, your fellow students, everyone who has helped you to achieve what you have achieved today. So to all of them, can I invite you to give a final huge round of applause. As you can tell, I am enormously proud of what our university achieves. And what a year it has been. It's a year when this university celebrates 175 years since its founding as the Birmingham Government School of Art and Design in 1843. And as you can imagine, during that time we have undergone a huge amount of change. The most recent change for many of us has been the move into the city centre and into Edgbaston so that we are at the heart of Birmingham. The university has spent almost £300 million on its new estate, from the magnificent new Royal Birmingham Conservatoire, but also the new facilities for health, for education and for life sciences and sport that are down at the City South campus in Edgbaston. And within the faculty, it's been an astonishing year as well. I'm unsurprised, given how successful you have all been, to see that success reflected in the league tables for both education and our health subjects, where we are seeing marked progression. The Defence School collaboration with our colleagues in the armed forces, where we are leading valuable projects in countries such as Zambia to improve healthcare provision for all. For both education and social work, and for health, working out in China, both with the British Council and with new partner institutions who are keen to work with an institution of our quality. And when I was newly arrived in the university, more or less this time last year, I was invited to celebrate 50 years of speech and language therapy at the institution, one of the first institutions to really drive in that area. And what was particularly pleasing was to have so many people who had studied on that programme across 50 years come back and be with us to celebrate it. We lead the way in understanding what good looks like in the nation's classrooms. But equally within our health provision, it's unsurprising to find that the quality of what you have achieved and your colleagues on the staff have achieved has led us to 14 nominations, a record number in the Student Nursing Times Awards. But above all, I am pleased that your faculty has come together in our Edgbaston site, because what it is going to enable us to do is to have all parts of the faculty, whether it is the health provision, whether it is the education and the sport and the life sciences provision, all working together in a multidisciplinary way. And it's been a year where the university has, of course, had its marked successes as well. And I'm really pleased to be able to say that we are number one for employability in our great city. Our graduates are the most employable, with almost 98% of those who left last year being recorded as being in work or further study within 6 months of leaving the university. That is an astonishing achievement, and it does great credit both to you, but also to the staff who support you. But I want to just take an opportunity this afternoon to step back for 1 minute and to think about what university is all about. And let's start with this. Why on earth are we wearing this on such a hot afternoon, and these strange hats that just make it even hotter? It's part of a formal ceremony that reaches back into the 12th and 13th centuries. It's part of the idea that we are a community of learning, a community that commits to the value of scholarship as a means for transforming society around us. The clothes are a way of recognising that you as our graduates remain key parts of our university community. And our mission as a university here at Birmingham City, our mission, the set of values that sets our direction, recognises that role. Because what it says is that we exist to transform the prospects of individuals, employers, and society. And you're the agents through which we achieve much of that transformation. This is a stunning city, and it's in an amazing part of the country. And all around us we see change. We see the big corporates coming to Birmingham, HSBC, Deutsche Bank, but we also see an astonishingly vibrant and diverse art scene, from the Hippodrome, the Birmingham Rep, the Library of Birmingham, through to the less formal, more cutting-edge parts of the arts provision in Digbeth or the Jewellery Quarter or wherever else it may be. We have HS2 landing literally on our doorstep in the university. We have the Commonwealth Games, which will be landing on our former campus up in Perry Barr. And only 2 days ago, we had the announcement from Channel 4 that Birmingham is through to the last 3 in the competition for hosting a new national headquarters in our city. I cannot imagine a better place for them to be. This is a time and a place of enormous change, a massive transformation, and I'm not going to pretend that all of it is going to be easy. The politics of our country are like nothing that we could have expected even a couple of years ago. The impact of the decision to leave the European Union is still largely unknown. And this is where your education is of critical importance. Because yes, research tells us a number of things. It tells us that graduates are more employable. It tells us that graduates will generally earn more. It tells us that in times of change, graduates are more able to adapt. But the research also tells us so much more, because it tells us that you as graduates are more engaged with the society around you. It tells us you're more likely to play an active part in culture, in politics, in volunteering, in shaping our future. And I want to offer you a thought, maybe a challenge. About 5 years ago, the Chief of the Australian Armed Forces, General David Morrison, stood up at International Women's Day to recognise formally, publicly, that there had been harassment and abuse, both physical and emotional, against women in that organisation. And you can find his address to his troops online. His anger and shame are palpable. But much of his anger was directed at those who had stood by, at those that had done nothing, at those who had allowed the behaviours to continue unchallenged. And he had something that I want to offer you. He said, "The standard that you walk past is the standard you accept." And the reason I offer that to you, even though his world is a world away from us here today in this hall, is this: you will set the standards for your society as we move forward. Each and every one of you that is graduating here today has shown remarkable dedication, remarkable personal commitment in order to be here today. And you stand at the beginning of the next chapter of your lives. And you probably, many of you, do not believe me. But I can tell you that you will shape our society, that the future belongs to you. And I always quote the great philosopher Spider-Man, who tells us that with great power comes great responsibility. There's a responsibility to care for one another, but there's also a responsibility to set the standards you want to live by, to create a society that you can be proud of. And as part of that, you have to be ready to challenge the old ways of doing things, to challenge the assumptions and behaviours of the past, because that way you are going to create a better future for us all. So please remember that the standard you walk past is the standard that you accept. And I know that you have the skills, the capabilities and knowledge to bring that challenge to bear. We on this stage absolutely believe in you. And today you become part of an outstanding body of alumni who make a difference in every day in over 100 countries around the world. You'll always be part of the BCU family. Come and talk to us, please, at the alumni stands that are outside. And if you need help now or in the future, remember that as a BCU graduate, you can still use our careers service and our employment advisors. We are proud that we can say we will always be here for you. So to you, to the graduating class of 2018, I want to finish by offering my warmest congratulations. Well done, you. I now call upon the Pro-Vice Chancellor and Executive Dean of the Faculty of Health, Education and Life Sciences, Professor Ian Blair, to commence the presentation of award holders and on the Pro-Chancellor to receive the students. Thank you.
Vice-Chancellor. As Pro-Vice-Chancellor and Executive Dean, I present students from the Faculty of Health, Education and Life Sciences who have qualified for the awards of degrees, diplomas and certificates. I invite Robert Mapp to the lectern to present award holders from the School of Nursing and Midwifery.
Master of Science in Advanced Clinical Practice, Sarah Williams. Helen Carney. Alec Taylor. Master of Science in Advanced Practice Nursing, Kathleen Crutchley. Sharon Turnock. Postgraduate Diploma in Specialist Community Public Health Nursing, Health Visiting to Sangay Whitfield. Postgraduate Certificate in Dimensions in Healthcare, Adult Critical Care, Sammy Jo Vaughan. Postgraduate Certificate in Professional Practice, Infection Prevention and Control, Daniel Checklin. Postgraduate Certificate in Professional Practice, Neonatal Critical Care, Annette Reid. Postgraduate Certificate in Safeguarding, Joanna Jacobs. Graduate Diploma in Midwifery, Claire Bodison. Hannah Brady. Stephanie Broderick. Charlotte King. Bethan Kings. Emma Lloyd. Isabella Martin Jones. Tafika Mohammed. Rebecca Ward Rotherham. Graduate Certificate in Fundamentals of General Practice Nursing, Gurjit Bupla. Carla Thompson. Graduate Certificate in Professional Practice, Neonatal Critical Care, Charlie Wayne. Beverly Ward. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Dimensions in Healthcare, Perioperative Practice, Mildred Sigton. Graduate Diploma in Midwifery, Danielle Gilliver. Laura Grimley. Marta Rabina. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Midwifery, Kelly Garish. Mariam Izza. Erica Kimberley. Charlotte White. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Nursing Adult, Amatullah Abdurik. Fatima Abdullah. Anita Agbanyeno. Lucy Akpojopo. Adijay Analande. Samantha Alcock. Nazja Ishmael. Kirtan Amin. Annabelle Anis. Samantha Asprey. Andrea Baffy. Lorna Babb. Janelle Baker. Emily Bell. Tanisha Bennett. Heather Biggs. Adele Blackstock. Sarah Bolton. Georgie Bonnell. Joanna Clark. Christine Coldrick. Lily Collett. Eva Cross. Elizabeth Davies. Adelaide Dick. Alaya Douglas. Chloe Dudley. Manisa and Dingo. Amy Edwards. Heather Ethuna. Yusra Igel. Denise Elson Williams. Sarah Ethelston. Demi Everett. Megan Fajardo. Sophie Faulkner. Audrey Freeman. Gavin Frowen. Amina Begum. Mam Gay. Mona Gadmisa. Andy Gibbs. Francis Giles. Miskana Green. Srijana Gurang. Martina Jamfriwa. Rachel Hammond. Claire Harper. Karen Hatfield. Paige Hathaway. Emma Haywood. Bianca Headlam Williamson. Maxine Hermon. Scarlett Hextall. Chantel Holloway. Naima Hussain. Marie J. Iqbal. Leah Jackson. Victoria Jayola. Chancellor Jinga. Misha Johnson. Jade Jones. Gracia Coimboy. Siham Khalifa. Shannon Knight. Nazmeen Kusar. Amy Lang. Rachel Laking. Bianca Lamy. Selena Lee. Hannah May Lewis. Sarah Longmore. Safa Malin. Katoum Mahama. Kirsty Martin. Notamemba Massine. Dipna Matthew. Hensmurth Maori. Lindiwa Momba. Rena Memi. Yasmin Moe. Tandri Mikwa. Tandai Matsumori. Jonathan Mullinger. Phoeben Mullangetta. Gwendolyn Mumba. Tandu Kubi. Portia Neal. Lydia Nanjuri. Thandai Nakamu. Joyce Nkumwa. Stacey Nourish. Viola Mbadza. Kerry O'Connor. Levi O'Gorman. Pearl Ogunmamba. Michael Ogunsisi. Isabel Achukwa. Miriam Opa Adu. Marijoy Officer Safer. Kelly Parkins. Alia Parnell Notice. Sujata Ray. Jake Ramsey. Kirsty Ray. Mohammed Razaji. Charmaine Richards. Elizabeth Whitson. Katie Roberts. Marlene Kari. Rosie Rowe. Amber Russell. Rekha Salan. Sylvia Sanmanga. Shazia Shamheen. Bubakar Sanyang. Sahar Sharifi. Kate Smith. Shanola Spence. Gerda Swart. Simbangil Tapa. Caroline Timpafu Mafi. Tara Tapley. Laura Taylor. Helena Terry. Sophie Tomlin. Josephine Vellum. Johanna Watkin. Bethan West. Amy Williams. Misha Wood. Simone Wren. Sophie Yarwood. Lila Yosef. Bachelor of Science in Studies in Healthcare, Thenwi Babi. Angela Membadzi. Diploma of Higher Education in Studies in Healthcare, Joyce Redpath. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Nursing Child, Wazia Ali. Amy Baldwin. Zara Banji. Samantha Barker. Rachel Barnes. Sheena Began. Alice Brooks. Dolores Brown. Claire Burt. Laura Sheetal. Payo Dutani. Samantha Diamond. Eleanor Farley. Rebecca Handy. Isabel Hastings. Nancy Howell. Kaylee Jones. Megan Leith. Claire Marriott. Joe Marshall. Sarah Mayers. Laura McCartney. Lisa Morris. Charlotte Owen. Eleanor Power. And Reet Sandhu. Karan Sangha. Louise Stiles. Lisa Swan. Becky Tarrant. Elizabeth Thomas. Elizabeth Tosland. Natalie Williams. Laura Wiley. Certificate in Higher Education and Studies in Healthcare, Ellie Milner. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Nursing, Learning Disabilities, Citra Began. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Nursing, Mental Health, Paige Alcott. Daisy Birch. Emma Clifton. Louise Coley. Rebecca Dallow. Hannah Harding. Kira Huckabee. Emily Mackenzie Grieve. More Blessings Makamori. Mohammed. Innocence Mora. Umani Nikimani. Amy O'Brien. Geraldine Oka. Emily Osborne. Charlotte Perry. Anika Queensborough James. Ellis Reeves. Natasha Roberts. Bethan Robinson. Ruth Shaw. Leah Skerritt. Matthew Stafford. Jean Seeger. Palamoni Whitehouse. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Professional Studies in Health and Social Care, Jenna Brickley. Sarah Fenwick. Sean Howlett. Abigail Savannah. This completes the first presentation of graduates from the School of Nursing and Midwifery.
That completes the first presentation of awards to graduates from the School of Nursing and Midwifery.
We are this afternoon delighted to be conferring the award of Doctor of the University upon Sarah Jane Marsh, and I now call upon the University Orator to give the citation.
Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, colleagues, graduates. Today we confer the degree of Honorary Doctor of Birmingham City University honoris causa on Sarah Jane Marsh. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to hear is one story out of many thousands that could be told, but with stories like this, every single one matters. There's a specialist hospital in London where a girl is born prematurely with an undeveloped ventricle and aorta. In lay terms, half her heart is missing. Weighing less than 5 pounds, she's too small for an operation, and her parents are told the grim news. That the baby had even survived birth was a miracle. There was no hope of another one. Their day of grief passed before the phone rang. They were, the hospital said, entitled to a second opinion. And that second opinion, like many of the best things in life, came from the so-called second city, Birmingham. Case notes were transferred, arrangements made, and within another day, the baby girl was in theatre just around the corner from here in the specialist cardiac unit of our city's superb children's hospital. 3 operations, and a few months later, the second miracle. For the first time ever, she went home. Well, that's progress. 40 years ago, complex heart conditions led to 50% mortality among newborns. Now it's 5%. And achievements like that are the work of many thousands of people, but it falls to a precious few to ensure they happen. And one such is our guest of honour today, Sarah Jane Marsh, Chief Executive of the Birmingham Women's and Children's Hospital. So you might ask what prepares you for a job of such critical importance to those thousands of parents, among others, who themselves stand on the brink of bereavement, and yet are miraculously brought back. Well, the answer's partly obvious, but partly not. Sarah Jane studied history and then Russian and Eastern European studies at university, before turning to an MSc in healthcare management and then to the NHS Graduate Management Scheme, a scheme which is for brilliant people like Sarah Jane, who can master finance, HR, policy, strategy, and health, alongside the most enduring commitment to the well-being of our citizens, whatever their status or origin. From there, she moved on to work in primary and secondary care and subsequently to the government's Department of Health. She swapped Whitehall for Walsall when she was appointed Director of Planning and Productivity at the latter's NHS Trust, and in 2007 she moved down the A34 to the Birmingham Children's Hospital, first as Chief Operating Officer and then 2 years later as Chief Executive. 2015 became a landmark year, with the Children's Hospital Trust winning the Health Service Journal's Provider of the Year award and Sarah Jane's additional appointment as Chief Executive of the Birmingham Women's Hospital Trust ahead of the full merger which took place last year. Like the best professionals, her reach goes far beyond her immediate brief. The project Forward Thinking Birmingham is her brainchild. By tackling mental health provision for young people across the city, it helps combat one of the pressing issues of our time. As chair of the NHS England Maternity Transformation Programme Board, she faces the timeless task of making maternity care across the entire country safer and more centred on the wishes of mothers. Now, Sarah Jane's has been, you might say, a life devoted not only to health, but also to great institutions. The one she leads now is the product of Victorian civic pride. Like our own schools of art and jewellery, the hospitals for women and children began in the 19th century when Birmingham forged ahead to create new opportunities for its citizens' bodily and spiritual health. You sense today that such another age of progress is upon us and that it depends partly on institutions. She's been a great friend to ours at a time when sometimes the media likes to portray universities as greedy corporates rather than public bodies that exist to promote the public good. Better than anyone, Sarah Jane puts into practice the knowledge that you, today's graduates, are the future of our nation's health, and that you need to work in partnership with historic institutions like the great, the enduring Birmingham Women's and Children's Hospitals. So when you cheer your success today, spare a cheer for the institutions that have helped you get there. So Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, colleagues, graduands, it gives me enormous pleasure to invite the Chancellor to confer the degree of Honorary Doctor of Birmingham City University honoris causa on Sarah Jane Marsh.
As Vice-Chancellor, I exercise the authority of the University's Academic Board and confer the award of Doctor of the University honoris causa on Sarah Jane Marsh, and I invite you, Pro-Chancellor, to present the commemorative medal. Ladies and gentlemen, that completes the conferment of the award of Doctor of the University honoris causa, and I now invite Sarah Jane to address the congregation.
Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen. Wow, what an occasion, what a magnificent venue and what a proud moment for all of us today. I genuinely feel that I have the best job in the world to have the opportunity to impact on the health and well-being of children, young people, women and babies. It's the biggest privilege of all. Sometimes I can barely believe that people pay me to do it. And then to find that also people want to reward me in this way, well, it's just a really special moment in my life. And especially because I get to share it with all of you, the next generation of people that are coming into the National Health Service to help and support patients and families in the most vulnerable times of their life. And of course, in this really special year, the 70th anniversary of the NHS. We've just come out of a wonderful series of celebrations where we've been able to look back on everything that the NHS has achieved. So I've thought carefully about, when I was sitting in your position maybe 15, 16 years ago, what piece of advice would have been really helpful to me when I was thinking about my NHS career? So I offer you 3 pieces of advice, which hopefully you'll take with you today and remember from time to time. The first of those is to always remember why you wanted to work in the NHS in the first place. I think people come and want to be a part of the NHS because of their values, because they want to get alongside people at vulnerable times in their life and help them to recover and become well. And sometimes we can get caught up in targets and bureaucracy and paperwork and all these other things that we all have to do, and we can forget sometimes why we're there. But at the end of everything, the NHS is essentially an organisation where people with expertise, with knowledge and skills, help other people that are vulnerable. People, our patients, they reach out and ask for help, and we use our knowledge and expertise to provide them with that support. And what better job on earth could there be? What better feeling could there be to walk out of your organisation after a shift, at the end of a busy night and morning, and to know that you have made a difference in someone's life, that you've been there at the most difficult and vulnerable time imaginable, but also too at times of great joy. I've met hundreds of women over the last few years that have had babies in the NHS, and every single one of them remembers the name of their midwife. They remember the kindness of their midwife, and they see their midwife as a member of their family for years and years to come. So remember that and have that huge sense of pride every day that your job is about helping people and supporting people at really vulnerable times. The second thing I would say is choose where you want to work based on the values of the organisation and the people that you will be working with. There's no better feeling than going into work every day knowing that you're going to be alongside a team that's going to support you, that's going to listen to you, that wants to achieve the same things that you want to achieve. And to me, that is far more important than worrying about what grade or what career progression or all those other things that I know sometimes we do get worried about. It's more important than that to surround yourself by people who are inspirational, to watch what they do, to listen and learn from them in your early career. But when the time feels right, when you do feel that you're ready for that promotion, I'm urging everybody in this room to take those opportunities, regardless of your gender, regardless of your sexual orientation, regardless of the colour of your skin or your background. We can all do this. I'm from Dudley originally. I don't sound like lots of other people sound as chief executives. I don't look like a lot of other people look as chief executives, and I became a chief executive when I was 32. If I'd have waited to look for a role model that was like me, I wouldn't be standing on this stage today. So I'm telling all of you out there, you burst through those ceilings that you think are there for you, because it's possible for every single person to achieve and for every single person to achieve in the NHS. Which brings me to my third point, which is please spend every moment of your career speaking highly and being a champion of the NHS. The last 70 years is a phenomenal achievement, and I think the NHS can keep going for another 70 years. But it's only going to do that and achieve that if every single member of staff is its advocate. It's never going to go anywhere if all of us, all 1.5 million of us, talk every day about the value of the NHS, the incredible work it does to save lives, the fact it's free at the point of use based on people's need, not their ability to pay. And if we're the champions of it, then we're going to hold on to the NHS for another 70 years and beyond. So hopefully you can hold those 3 pieces of advice for a long time to come. Remember why you're there, surround yourself with people that are like you, and fight and champion the cause of the NHS every day, because it's worth it. Finally, I just want to say a massive, massive thank you. I want to say thank you to everybody who works in my organisation, Birmingham Women's and Children's Hospital. There's 6,000 of us that work there, and all of the achievements that were heard about in that speech are because of those 6,000 people, and I feel I stand here today to represent them and all that they're about and all that they've achieved. Secondly, I'd like to say a big thank you to the university for recognising me in this way and recognising the partnership between the university and my organisation. It's really special to us. And finally, I'd like to thank my family, that none of this would be possible without. They support me every step of the way. They're up there on the balcony. There's my little girl. My parents had absolute confidence in me from the very start in my life. They taught me that anything was possible. I could achieve anything if I wanted to. And that's what I see now. My job as a mum is to my daughter Rosa and my little boy Ronnie, who's not here today because he would have jumped off the balcony by now. But for both of them, that I will give them the confidence that my parents gave to me. And with that confidence, I really believe that anything is possible. So I just want to finish my address by just reading you a very short passage from the NHS's own constitution, which hopefully just brings home everything that I've talked about. And whenever you are having a moment where you think, actually, I'm not sure this is for me, I'm going to go and do something else, you look this up on the internet, you read this passage, and I think you'll absolutely realise the reason why you're there and why the job you are doing is so, so amazing. So here we are. The NHS belongs to the people. It is there to improve our health and well-being, supporting us to keep mentally and physically well, to get better when we are ill, and when we cannot fully recover, to stay as well as we can to the ends of our lives. It works at the limits of science, bringing the highest levels of human knowledge and skill to save lives and improve health. It touches our lives at times of basic human need, when care and compassion are what matter most. Thank you.
I now invite Professor Ian Blair to continue the presentation of award holders from the faculty.
I invite Robert Mapp to the lectern to award holders from the School of Nursing and Midwifery.
Bachelor of Science in Dimensions in Healthcare, Cancer Care, Rhiannon Cummings. Katie Ridge. Bachelor of Science in Dimensions in Healthcare, Coronary Care, Mary Taines. Bachelor of Science in Dimensions in Healthcare, Haematology and Cancer Care, Mercy Munson-Sansi. Bachelor of Science in Dimensions in Healthcare, Tissue Viability, Lauren Olenzo. Bachelor of Science in Fundamentals of General Practice Nursing, Claire Banks. Emma Maddock. Bachelor of Science in Management of Childhood Diabetes, Sharon Beaumont. Vicky Grimes. Lorraine Johnson. Bachelor of Science in Professional Practice, Acute Care, Georgina Brabham. Bachelor of Science in Professional Practice, Cancer Care, Leanne Winsper. Bachelor of Science in Professional Practice, Cardiac Care, Elliot Terrard. Bachelor of Science in Professional Practice, Healthcare, Rachel Dore. Jane Waller. Bachelor of Science in Professional Practice, Perioperative Practice, Faye Vincent. Certificate in Higher Education in Studies in Healthcare, Rabia Begum. Advanced Diploma in Professional Studies in Dimensions in Healthcare, Diabetes Care, Octavia Simlane. Foundation Degree in Sciences in Health and Social Care, Adult Care, Charlotte Hewitt. Jabril Jumoa. Kalsum Khan. Lynette O'Connor. Stephen Paget. Pearl Patel. Foundation Degree in Sciences in Health and Social Care, Adult Care, Simone Spence. Sharon Taylor. Rebecca Whips. Jolene Branson. Foundation Degree in Sciences in Health and Social Care Children, Laura Bain. Natasha Cohen. Foundation Degree in Sciences in Health and Social Care, Surgical Care Support, Laura Cox. Anthony Eberhard. This completes the presentation of graduates from the School of Nursing and Midwifery.
I now invite Professor Kevin Mattinson to the lectern to award holders from the School of Education and Social Work and the School of Health Sciences.
Master of Arts in Education, Samuel Bailey. Masters in Educational Leadership, Laura Jackson. Masters in Teaching and Learning, Lorraine Mathers. Postgraduate Diploma in Teaching and Learning, Anna Maria Constantinou. Postgraduate Certificate in Education, Ashanti Anderson. Paul Begley. Stephen Cook. Lucy Cooper. Matthew Peter Fleeman. Aaron Foy. Rihanna Holbrook. Sarah King. Claire Mason. Yashin Quihil. Lucia Riel Perez. Stephen Smith. Postgraduate Certificate in Education in Primary and Early Years with Qualified Teacher Status in partnership with the Arthur Terry School, Alex Bingham. Anne-Marie Chiswell. Thomas Evans. Thea Layton. Charlotte Smith. Luke Taylor. Zoe Thomas. Emma Jones. Postgraduate Certificate in Education in Primary and Early Years with Qualified Teacher Status in partnership with the Titan Partnership, Hannah Davis. Sabaya Din. Mande Angweni. Tara Cox. Elizabeth Dodd. Gemma Hancox. Jess Kiran Kular. Holly McGoldrick. Postgraduate Certificate in Learning and Teaching and Higher Education, Marvarine Duffy. Andrew Fellows. Dharmesh Rajput. Postgraduate Certificate in Education in Primary and Early Years with Qualified Teacher Status for 5 to 11 years, Mamana Hussain. Postgraduate Certificate in Education in Primary and Early Years with Qualified Teacher Status, SCIT, Thomas Partridge. Postgraduate Certificate in Education in Secondary Art and Design with Qualified Teacher Status in partnership with RSA Academy's Teaching School Alliance, Lucy Haynes. Postgraduate Certificate in Education in Secondary Mathematics with Qualified Teacher Status, Nazkat Ali. Postgraduate Certificate in Education in Secondary Mathematics with Qualified Teacher Status in partnership with RSA Academy's Teaching School Alliance, Matthew Wilkinson. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Primary Education with Qualified Teacher Status, Safua Ibrahim Patel. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Early Childhood Studies, Antonio Kyle. Natalie Tempesi. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Social Work, Abu Karim. Jade Middleton. Master of Science in Radiography, Michelle McNamee. Master of Science in Health and Social Care, Latoya Neal. Postgraduate Diploma in Medical Ultrasound, Omar Najem. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Diagnostic Radiography, Rafaya Masood. Arfa Nisar. And this completes the presentation of graduates from the School of Education and Social Work and the School of Health Sciences.
I now invite Rachel Laking, who has graduated from her Bachelor of Science with Honours Adult Nursing programme this afternoon, to address the congregation.
Good afternoon. It is a great honour to be asked to speak to you today. A special day for me and my family, just as I'm sure it is for many of you here today at the culmination of our studies. Most of the people in front of me will know about the 6 C's of nursing, and today I will go through these again. When I started the course in 2015, I believed I had all of these qualities under my belt. I did not. The only one I was fortunate enough to have was care. I gained this from my family, to care without judgment and to treat everyone how you wanted to be treated. It is not something it's not something you can be taught in lectures, but something inside of yourself. So, in my first year, I learned to communicate. Through lecturers' teachings, classmates and placement, I learnt the fundamentals of good communication, which came in handy when telling non-healthcare students to turn the music on at 2 a.m. when you're up at 4:30 for a shift. In the second year, we were taught to work within our limitations. We were taught to be competent. We were given the vital skills to assess and provide good care to our patients. Without this knowledge, we would not be standing or sitting here today. I also learnt to be compassionate. I was put into situations that all nurses dread, but was able to provide the care and support these patients and families needed at such a difficult time in their life. Third year, we all learnt to be committed, having 4 deadlines, applying for jobs and placement, as well as a dissertation to write. And thank you for all our friends and families for also being committed and extremely patient throughout this tough year. Throughout my third year, and even to this day, the C that I've been working on is courage. Courage to speak up in lectures, courage to advocate for my patients, and courage to work within an NHS when throughout our training we have heard repeated reports that the NHS is in crisis. We all have courage, even if we can't see it or don't believe it. To serve the NHS when it's facing great challenges represents courage in itself. I now work in one of the busiest A&E departments in the country. With the training throughout my time at BCU, the dedication of university and placement staff, the kindness of my classmates, my new A&E team, and the wonderful support from my family and friends, I've been able to become an extremely proud nurse who will hopefully continue to grow and keep on learning. I've had an incredible time over the last 3 years. I've learnt more than I could have believed, laughed more than I could have hoped, and met people who have changed my life. So thank you. As we set out on the next stages of our lives, we are still individuals with our own distinct ambitions, but we are also united as a class of 2018, a permanent part of our university's history. Congratulations to you all. I now invite the Pro-Chancellor to close ceremony.
Thank you very much, Rachel, for those thoughtful remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not so foolish as to stand here for longer than I have to between you and a long, cold glass of some drink or other. So let me just add my own personal congratulations to all today's graduates, to wish you a very enjoyable continued celebration of your day today in the company of family and friends, and above all, to wish you all the luck in the world for the future, whatever that may hold. I now declare this congregation closed, and we'd be very grateful if guests would stand and remain in their places while the stage procession retires. Thank you ever so much.